The new channel. See the new. The new channel. See the new. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. We are here to help you see a new you. This is The Big Picture. I'm your host, Lloyd Luna. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, wherever you are in the world, good evening. Hi, Apple. Hi, Rochelle. I hope you're doing well. Tonight, it's gonna be a big night for all of you. And for me, wish me luck. A British national is here in the show. What about that? June 23, it's a Tuesday today. And I'd like to say hi to June, watching from Ozamis in Mindanao. Arnold is also watching. Hello. And Cho from Tarlac is also watching. Those of you who are watching, please do share our live stream link. And if you can organize watch parties, it will be better. I need some help because it will be a 45-minute interview and it will have to be spoken, not in our native tongue. It will be in English. What about that? Woo! Hello, Sir Joe Magsaysay. Miss Rosita Virador Cordovan is watching from Cebu City. I hope Cebu City is getting better. And Bing Likers is watching from Jeddah. We are hoping that you are also safe in that part of the world. Things happen, and if it happens, it's how we respond to them that make a difference. So doesn't matter if what happens to us is good or bad. How we respond to what happens is more important than what happens. Today, we launched our newest show on the new channel. It's called HR Hotline, hosted by Jesse Bustillo. And about 10 minutes prior to the inaugural, the debut, he wasn't able to connect to the internet. And what happens really is, voila, we got rattled. But this is what really great people do. They find ways to make things work regardless of the challenges. In 10 minutes, we changed the setup from laptop to mobile phone. Got him connected through data connection. And boom, we made the launch with viewers more than 500 as we speak tonight. So things really happen, good and bad, and how we respond to these things matter more than the things that are happening. And so tonight, I didn't realize I will have a British national guest. And so this is what happens. How I respond to it is more important than what it is. So I'm gonna have to brace myself. And you too, you have to brace yourself because it will be an entire 45-minute episode with no or very little Tagalog words you're going to hear. So if you can just support me, please just watch. Cheering me up is fine. It will for sure do the trick. Hello, Ira. Hello, Lyra. Wow, magka-rhyme pa, ha? And so, yeah, maybe we can start. But as you very well know, we don't really start without reading headlines. From our media partner. Okay, if you're still not sharing this live stream link, please do so. Organize watch party so your friends can actually watch the show. Because what we're doing here in the big picture is basically inspiring people through our shows. We bring in inspirational figures, personalities, and this particular moment, we brought one, handsome, good-looking guy. Hello, Ashley Marasigan, watching from where you're from. You're from watching from Iran, Kuwait. I don't know. Tell us. Si Ashley. You are in the food business, or you are actually wanting to do one food business? One of the industries that is being challenged right now, food business. And our guest is actually getting through that kind of challenge. But for some reason, he's able to navigate the challenge. And so he's here tonight in order for us to hear some inspirational words from him on how they're actually handling their food business despite the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. Okay, headlines from the Manila Times. IATF is easing flight restrictions. Palace admits flattening virus curve a challenge. Duterte signs bills upgrading hospitals. Coronavirus disease accelerating according to the World Health Organization. Time to vote on ABS-CBN franchise, Cayetano told. PhilHealth shift, we have money. Fuel prices go up for third straight week. Headlines presented to you by the Manila Times. If you want more news and information, please go to manilatimes.net or download their application at digitaledition.manilatimes.net. All right, let's bring in the guy. Ladies and gentlemen, in the show is the chef, British national, Matthew Bates. How are you, sir? Thank you so much for coming to the big picture.
Hello, Lloyd. How are you?
Okay, can you hear me?
Hello, Lloyd. How are you?
Oh, very good. Well, I was good until you came to the interview, and because I have to speak in English, not so well.
I'm sorry about that, Lloyd.
But then again, thank you so much for coming to the big picture. We really appreciate your presence. We hope we can inspire our stream viewers for tonight because they are also excited to see you. When they saw the poster, many were saying, "Is that the Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars?" I said, "Well, looks like and sounds like."
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. You're a fan of Star Wars, no?
Not really. Not really.
Not really.
Familiar. Familiar.
It should have been familiar for sure. Okay. The first thing I ask our guest in the show nightly is how they are doing. So, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Very well indeed.
Oh, I was hoping a longer answer, but then again, it
Oh,
wasn't.
sorry about that. No, I'm doing very well, Lloyd. Yeah, we're making it through this pandemic.
Yeah.
So I think today we're really here to discuss, how we're surviving as a business and what we've done.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching the big picture. See you tomorrow. We done? Okay. The 90-day lockdown, they call it enhanced community quarantine here.
Yeah.
How did you navigate those days without having the feeling that you may be secured or you may be not? I mean, what was the emotional ride? How does it look like?
I think, like anyone, initially it was shocking. This is a new thing for everybody, the pandemic. We weren't really sure how we were going to respond as a business. So initially we closed, and then in the background, my partner and I are keeping close contact, trying to work out how we're going to reopen and what our strategy will be to do so.
Okay, Cargofish started when? And by the way, there are hundreds of countries in the world. Why in the Philippines?
Why did we bring Cargofish here? Well, I've been living in the Philippines for some 8 years now. A few years ago, I was a chef for a different group of restaurants. I met my partner there, so a local guy who was my sous chef. His name is Matthew Lim, and we kind of decided that there was no real decent fish and chip shop. There was nothing that had a reasonable price range, and that's something that in the UK is very important. And it's also cuisine that I missed from back home. So we put our heads together and came up with the concept of cargo fish. And that was a good 3.5 years ago. Since then, we've come up with some other concepts as well, and we're working hard with it.
Mhm. Prior to you establishing your own business, was it difficult to transition from being the guy uh, uh, in charge and you're getting paid to do that, as opposed to you being an entrepreneur on yourself?
Yeah, I would say it was very difficult. Certainly, being in a foreign country as well. There are a lot of challenges ahead. Obviously, the language and the people, the environment. So I had to really sort of understand this. It's kind of where it helped to initially work for a group of restaurants. So I guess in that sense, I was eased into it. I could make some connections and I could understand things before venturing out alone.
Putting up a business in a different country or with different culture and practically taste buds is
Mm.
something that is difficult for sure. So how did you come into the picture and identify our weakness, so to speak? How
Mm.
did it start?
It's a good question. I think when I first moved here, I had to understand the Filipino culture and certainly cuisine. Uh, I'd say Filipinos have a very different flavor profile than what I'm used to. Being Western European, we tend to have a more calmer palate, I would say. Food is a little more bland. Uh, so to come over here and start to create menus for Filipinos and work with cuisine aimed at Filipinos, I had to adapt. I really had to adapt. I had to take some criticism and take it on the chin.
When did you start falling in love with cooking?
Oh, I've always been enjoyed cooking. That was really from a young age. And I think my first job in the catering industry, I was around 13,
Mm.
and I worked in a restaurant in England. I was a pot wash, just washing up, and I used to keep an eye on the chefs, and I kind of had an engagement there. Really, it was interesting to me. I used to enjoy to watch them, and that was really where I thought, hang on, this is the direction I feel comfortable with. This is where I'd like to go.
Does it run in the family, or you're the first in the family?
I think I'm the first chef in the family. Yeah, my father was a lawyer, so yeah, I'm the
How
first
did they?
chef.
I don't know about your culture, but how did they take that? Is it in your culture that if there's a lawyer in the family, somehow the children must be lawyers as well?
Well, I guess you can expect that there would be maybe some encouragement to go into that, but at the same time, my parents were very very open people. It was not necessarily about forcing you into something. It was about finding what makes you happy, and they've got support throughout and always have done. And now they're very happy. They're very proud of the fact that I've come over here to the Philippines and set up some interesting concepts.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now that you have your own business, did you ever go to a cooking school, or everything is just street smart?
No, I did study. I did study food. I have to say I didn't enjoy the catering course. It wasn't really my thing. At the same time, I was working in restaurants, and in the end, I kind of faded away from the catering college and really stayed in the restaurants and started to pick things up there. Being a chef, it's not necessarily about a qualification on paper. It's more an environment that you have to feel comfortable with. You have to kind of live it and be in it. And I think it's very beneficial to actually work in restaurants and work your way through, rather than just coming out with a degree of some sort and feeling that you're ready. There's a lot of challenges in restaurants. and there's a lot of challenges in the kitchen. And I think something you don't often learn in a school is really how to manage the pressure and the focus and the back end of things. So that's something you really have to adapt to.
The worst experience in the kitchen you can remember?
Oh, what a question. I've had many, many. I remember one particular day, I was a chef in the outskirts of London, very popular restaurant. It's called Claudio's. Really bad day. I was working with some Brazilians, great guys, crazy guys, bit nuts. And in the middle of service, one of them's gone to clean the fryer, and he's undone the tap, and all this, boiling hot fat has gone all over the floor in the middle of service. Extremely dangerous, but of course we had to crack on. We had to work through it. But I didn't enjoy it. It was a bad day. Yeah, I don't really want to remember it. Thanks.
I'm sorry about that. Really, I'm serious. I'm sorry about that. No, too late though. Too late.
Yeah, it's done now.
Was there ever a point in your life when you said you don't want to cook anymore?
I don't know as I've got to that point that I've said I don't want to cook anymore, but I've reached the end of the day perhaps and gone, sod this, I'm done, I'm out, let's hit the pub, something like that. It can get tough. It's a very pressurized environment, as creative as it can be, and as fun as it can be. There's a serious side to it. There really is. And that side is mostly the pressure. There's a lot of pressure, to deliver and consistently get things right. And you're dealing with many different people. You have to learn to work with people of all different walks of life. So there's personal challenges there too. I'm sure you're aware that chefs have a reputation for having a bit of a temper. So there's an aspect there, but personally, I've always been very calm in the kitchen. But I've worked with some chefs that maybe haven't been so calm,
Let's talk about feedback. How do you respond to feedbacks?
As an individual, I'm fairly mellow with it. I do appreciate feedback. I can take it professionally and constructively. So yeah, I think it's important to hear feedback. If you're to work in that environment, you should be open to feedback because it is the knowledge that you need to hear, really.
Was there ever a time in your professional career as a chef that you get insulted, and how did you respond?
I would assume there's times that I've been insulted. Yeah, I've worked with chefs of different calibers, and I think probably when I was a younger chef, there were times I thought I was right, and then I've been completely shot down. That's not necessarily a bad thing. This is something you need to take on the chin and absorb. It makes you a stronger person and a better chef for it. I do remember the first time I became a head chef. I think I was 23 years old, which is quite young for a head chef.
23 years old for a head chef.
Yeah. I was working in a restaurant just outside London, and I managed to take over the kitchen.
Is it something that normally happens in London, being a head chef at a young age?
I don't think it is really. No, I just found myself in this position. I worked for a family restaurant, and they sold it to somebody else, and I was kind of inherited with it really, and it was a good opportunity. But I remember my first ever menu. If I was to look back now, it was terrible, but at the time, I thought it was fantastic. I remember one stage, I think there was a famous chef that came to this restaurant, and he glanced upon my menu, and And he said it didn't make any sense. There wasn't any structure. There wasn't any theme to it. And now I can see that. But back then I couldn't, you see. I was just starting out. So that was good to hear the feedback. It made me think and reconsider.
Okay, good. So I'm going to pause a very short commercial because I'm running out of English words.
Okay.
Okay, and when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion. Stay tuned, everyone. Stay tuned, everyone. Don't go away. The big picture on the new channel will be right back.
We meet beauty every day. We meet power every day. Are you ready?
Ready? Ready.
Beauty is power.
Since I got my new place, I've enjoyed every single day here. Hotel-like amenities, attentive staff, resort-style living, all in a premium location. So life here is easy and convenient. That's why I invested in another unit. I can earn more, and they can enjoy the very same things I enjoy at home. What a life! So much more rewarding. So much more to life. SMDC.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Picture on the new channel. Still with me is Chef Matthew Bates from Cargofish. But the last commercial that you saw, please take time to tune in tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. For the world premiere of iBusiness with Dr. Mike and Berth. It will be a live stream from Tennessee and Texas. So Central US time, June 23, time po ng US, 8:30 p.m. and the Eastern US time at 9:30 p.m. Hopefully you can watch and support the show because it's very important. They will be talking about how business people from around the world are actually making their improvements so they can create a greater impact in the industry where they belong. So again, the world premiere of iBusiness with Dr. Mike and Bert will be tomorrow, Philippine time, 9:30 a.m. June 24. So bukas na po ito, bukas po ng umaga. Okay, and so another world premiere will happen on June 30, The Puppet Stories with Wan Lu. So that will be on Tuesday, June 30 at 5 p.m. Huwag po ninyo kakalimutan yan dahil maganda pong format yan. Wan Lu will not be doing it on his own because he has a puppet. As we know, Nicolo is more popular than the owner, Wan Lu. So please do watch the world premiere of The Puppet Stories with Wan Lu on June 30th at 5 p.m. That's Tuesday. Okay, so let's bring in to the screen Chef Matthew Bates of Cargofish. Again, welcome to The Big Picture, Chef. It's really an honor that you are here. And now I'm
Hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, it's making my life difficult. But anyway, thank you so much for your presence. You're giving a lot of value to the show.
Fantastic. Very welcome. Pleased to be here.
Good. You started a cargo fish. Was it really an intentional thing, or you just thought of doing something and then eventually it turned out that it can be a good business?
No, cargo fish was our intention. It was our first brand. We, as I say, I missed fish and chips from back home. I felt there was not a solid fish and chip shop in the Philippines. There was a few, but they were quite overpriced in my opinion. In the UK, fish and chips is our version of street food. It's a very affordable offering. And over here in the Philippines, it seemed to be different. It was mostly restaurants that were offering that as a dish, and it was of a higher price. I wanted to come up with something that was really like a takeout that would work for everybody. So we came up with the concept of cargo fish. It kind of naturally came together, is because it is a fish and chip shop and it's housed in a cargo container. So that came about because we were looking for spaces and we couldn't really find any. So instead of finding the right location, we redesigned the concept to be in a shipping container and presented that to shopping malls in the Philippines. And a lot of them denied the idea. They didn't really work with the shipping container concept. However, Mega World picked up on it. They liked the idea, and we had a meeting. We presented it to them, and they said, look, we can offer you 3 locations if you like, starting today. And
Free?
that's how it.
Did I
Free.
hear right?
Free.
Free location for a concept that is never tested at the time?
Absolutely, yeah. We obviously had to present it. We had a PowerPoint presentation, and I gave them a demonstration of the food, and it paid off. So we chose our first location to be Uptown Mall on the 4th floor, and it worked out to be quite a nice little spot, really. The brand kind of adapted from that point. We started as a fish and chip shop, and then we were offering drinks and a few cocktails, and there was a bar aspect, and we were bringing things in like live music events and DJs and things like that. It was a very busy area, still is. Obviously not during the pandemic as much, but prior to the pandemic, it was a right little hotspot. So it's worked out well for us.
Who were your first clients? Their ages? Are these yuppies or more of the oldies?
It's a mixed clientele. That's something I'm proud of, really. There's a lot of call centers, a lot of yuppies, expats as well. Obviously, the concept of fish and chips. It's something for all walks of life, and I think that's quite unique in the Philippines. Restaurants often have their sort of target market, as you'd say, but when it comes to cargo fish, it's a real handful.
Yeah, we naturally also love street food. By the way, Filipinos are street food people.
Yeah.
And you probably have heard about that, and you have seen us eating something on the street, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, tell us something about your experience if you have one eating on the street food.
I've certainly tried the barbecue that you get on the streets. Quick. I find that quite interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's the orange.
The eggs in the batter that you have the kind of sweet sauce, and you eat it at the side of the road. I like that one. That's one of my favorites. Very affordable, very filling, high protein. Fantastic.
There's none like that in London.
I think it's illegal in England. Yeah, you can't really just cook up on the side of the road.
Yeah. Okay, but the kwek is not your. Is that something that you can find there?
It's definitely not there. No. No, I've never seen quick in England or in London.
Balot.
Hello?
What about balot?
Balut. Yeah.
You've tried
I
it?
have tasted that. To be honest, it's something you've got to get your head round. For a foreigner, this embryo, an unhatched chick.
Mm-hmm.
It looks disgusting. I've tasted it. I've braved it, and
What time of day? What time of day did you actually eat or try to eat it?
I think it was at lunchtime, something
Exactly.
like that.
You were eating it at the wrong time because it is usually eaten in the dark.
In the dark, yeah, I can
Yeah.
understand. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah. So you don't
I would
realize.
recommend if you're gonna do that, do it in the dark. Might be easier. But
Okay.
the actual flavour, to be fair, Lloyd, the flavour's not bad. I can't say the taste is bad. It's more getting over this thought in your head, that you look at it, you're trying to work it out. Should I? Shouldn't I? And then once you actually pop one in, okay. I mean, I can deal with it.
Mhm. What is common, at least closest common thing, or the way we appreciate food, the Filipinos and British?
Sorry, I misunderstood that. Can we say again?
Sorry, is there something that is common as far as taste bud is concerned between Filipinos and British?
Hmm. I wouldn't say there is. I mean, there must be some products out there and some dishes out there, but I would say that there's a strong difference between the Filipino palate and the Western palate. The Filipinos are very heavy on sugar and saltiness. To the point, I personally find it a little bit too far. That it's like a flavour that kicks you in the head as soon as you take a bite, and that's something I wasn't really used to. I've had to adjust my own palate slightly to accommodate. Really,
Wow, that's interesting thing to know. One of our stream viewers said no quack quack in England, and he said it breaks his heart.
it breaks his heart.
Yeah, and then our colleague Erwin, was there a time that you got angry to a staff or a colleague, like a Gordon Ramsay angry level?
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic.
Well, I mean, that is a question. Was there a time in your life that you got angry, like Gordon?
Yes. Yes, yeah, there might have been a couple. As I say, it's a heated environment. It can. You're working with fire, you're working with heat, you're working with pressure, and it's easy to bite under that stress sometimes when you've got very little time to deal with, and you've got a customer out there they may or may not understand, and they're expecting something and they're expecting it quickly, and you've got to deliver. So behind the scenes, yeah, it can happen.
It can
But
happen.
I think it's important to know that this is just work. It's just part of that work pressure. So if you're in the environment working with a team of cooks and it gets a bit heated, as soon as that shift is over, there's no hard feelings. It's done. It's just purely that moment. It's just work. It's nothing personal.
How do Filipinos take that kind of heated argument, so to speak?
Filipinos are actually very good in the kitchen. I've found. I found the level of employees I've worked with here or cooks I've worked with here to be very hands on. They're not lazy. They crack on with the job, and that helps. some of the chefs I've worked with, perhaps in England or Europe, maybe not the same attitude. So, a bit more bravado as well. It can get complicated. Philippines, generally quite calm. And overall, I've had a pleasure working with people here. There's been moments, of course. You can't say there hasn't, but yeah, beneficial overall.
Okay, good. Now we're going to pause for a short commercial again, but before that, what about a game? Are you in?
Hit me up.
Okay, everyone, this is our big or small segment on the big picture. All right, big. I got you. You're drinking something over there.
Just having a little tipple, yep. It's only water.
Okay, that should help. That should help you win the game. Before we do the game, I'm saying hi to Erwin, Glenny, watching from Bicol, and then Wanlu, one of the hosts at TNC eventually, and Miss Rada Castro Calirao will be guesting tomorrow. She's watching tonight. Diana in Tuguegarao, Roel in Laguna, and Alian Barcelona saying I have to do a British accent, which I cannot do.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you so very much. That's if there's any consolation, that's a good consolation. Go. So big or small, all you have to do is to tell me if you prefer it to be small or big. So once I say the word, you just say if it's big or small. Okay, bed.
Big.
Big. Car.
Small.
Banana.
Big.
Family.
I'm comfortable where it is, so let's say medium on that one. Is that allowed?
There's no medium.
Small.
Oh, okay, that's safe. House.
Big.
Plate.
Plate.
Yes, plate.
Big.
Television.
Big.
Planet.
Planet. I mean, that's kind of infinite, isn't it? Yeah, huge. Big.
Big, all right. Fish.
Big.
Laptop.
Small.
Okay. If you're a barber, name at least one celebrity that you want to cut hair.
If I'm a barber, one celebrity. Let me think about this. Angelina Jolie.
All right.
She's got nice hair, right?
Yeah. Not that I'm expecting that, but anyway, your answer. If heaven is true and you can go there now, with the exemption of your family member, who would like you would like that someone to join you?
So if I was in heaven, who would I be with?
Yep. Not me.
Yes,
Please,
my wife would be a good answer on that one.
Okay, good. Not me.
Sorry.
Yeah. If you are a gym instructor who is a political leader you want to train in the gym.
A political leader? Let's give Duterte a good go.
If you are an astronaut, who would you like to take in outer space?
Uh, astronaut out of space. Close friend of mine, Marissa. Yeah.
Okay.
This doesn't have to be famous people, is that right?
Yes, not right. Yeah, that's right. if you
Okay.
have if you have all the money in the world, which company would you like to buy?
Which company would I like to buy? Um, I think Facebook seems like quite a good idea.
Okay, you're the second person in the show who wants to buy Facebook. Amazing.
Yeah, I see. Well, I mean, it's quite a good company, isn't it? It does very well financially.
Okay. It's COVID-19 proof, right?
Yeah, pandemic proof.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining for joining the game, Matthew. I'm going to pause for a short commercial. The big picture will be right back. Stay tuned.
No problem. Thank you.
You can start again. We know about your struggle, but you're not alone. We're live on your stream to help you start again. The new channel. See the new.
Welcome back. You're still watching The Big Picture on the new channel. Still with me is Chef Matthew-Bates of Cargofish. But before I bring him in back to the screen, again, I'm going to announce the world premiere of iBusiness with Dr. Mike and Bert will happen tomorrow, PH time, 9:30 a.m. And it will be live streamed from Tennessee and Texas. Central US time is June 23, 8:30 p.m. and Eastern US time, Tuesday, 23 of June, 9:30 p.m. And also, the world premiere of The Puppet Stories with Wanlu will be on Tuesday, June 30 at 5 p.m. So don't miss the shows that we are launching, because it will be a total of 13 shows in the next 2 months from the new channel. So I hope you support the show, ha? Maraming salamat, Nes. Argame watching right now. Rufa Arzobal is also watching and saying hi to Chef. And then Aquino Hyacinth is also watching, saying also hi to Chef Matthew. I don't know if you know these people, Chef, but
I think that's some of my staff.
yeah, I think you require them to watch, otherwise they lose their job.
I didn't know they were watching. Hi,
All right,
guys.
good. The pandemic has changed the way we do business. That's
Yeah.
for a fact. How did you handle the shift, and what are the changes that happened to you that you easily adapted?
Firstly, safety is a huge concern. That's where we've really had to look out for things, adapt the uniforms, the obviously face masks, screens, to keep the staff as safe as we can. The ordering sections and anywhere there's a sort of customer interaction point, we've had to barrier out to protect them. And the nature of the business as well really has moved more online. My partner Matthew has been opening up delivery channels wherever possible, trying to get our products up to people's homes really. The nature of our business previous to that was really in-house. It was active, it was busy, it was live music events and things like that, and obviously we've had to divert from that. So there's there really is a lot of changes coming into it. Sanitation, massive thing. Social distancing. We now accept dine-in guests.
Mhm.
However, it's really on a minimum scale.
How big is your restaurant in square meters?
Our seating capacity is around 200, so
Wow.
it's quite large. Yeah, it's all al fresco. We have one shipping container, which is Cargofish, and then recently we created another brand. So we took the unit next door to our shipping container. Earlier you were talking about Filipino street food, and my partner and I, Matthew, initially coming up with a British kind of street food, being fish and chips. Matthew being local, he wanted to come up with something that really worked on local street food. So we came up with a concept called burnt bamboo. And this focuses mainly on barbecue, Filipino barbecue, silog meals, um,
Wow.
things like that. So that was nice. That was interesting for me because it taught me a lot. This is where the local palate comes in, the sort of sweet, the salty, the flavors like that. So yeah, that's also doing very well. We've
Mhm.
recently just bought this online as well, and yeah, it's available to order. I think you have the phone number there somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Before we pull up the phone number, we were not prepared for this pandemic, especially the lockdown. Nobody expected it. It's unprecedented, so to speak. And you have adjusted so well. But opening your 200-seater capacity restaurant, is your business gonna survive at 50% capacity?
I believe we'll survive. Yeah, we will survive. Again, yeah, the capacity is limited, but we're doing a lot more online. So we're gaining more of an online presence, and there's a lot of support there. There's a lot of new clients and regular clients that have still enjoyed our products and are still ordering our food. So yeah, we will survive. But at the same time, we can't wait to get our atmosphere back. We really want to get through this. I want to see the Philippines get through this really as quick as
Mhm.
possible.
Yeah. That's a good observation. You have said backstage that we have to do a better job. I mean, we as a country have to do a better job because talking about Asian other Asian
Yeah.
countries doing better as far as the containment of the virus is concerned. Good. What strategy do you use in order for you to keep yourselves afloat given the situation? Like, do you retrench people? Do you retain them? Do you keep the best and then just rehire after when we finally go back to normal business?
I mean, we've had to scale things down. So overall, I employ around 45, nearly 50 employees. I have another restaurant in Pasig where we offer cargo fish and burnt bamboo as well. That currently is closed because we're doing a lot of online deliveries, things like that. We can manage it from the one store, so we don't necessarily have to open all of them. So yeah, we've scaled things down. We run on a minimum and do as much online as we can, as much deliveries and things like that. But we are slowly now entertaining walk-in guests, and that's picking up as well. And I think the more people start to resume back to work when the offices reopen, things like that, and it's happening slowly. I think the country here is the idea is to really get back to work, and they want to do it gently. They don't want complete chaos. So it's something we're going to have to bear with. It's something we have to understand and accept. But yeah. That's
And then I also heard about your wife doing side business born out of the lockdown, and then somehow the business is picking up. Tell us something about this puff.
My wife's doing very well with this. Yeah, we used to have a brand called Puffed Marshmallows, and it was something we tried out. Did very well in sort of seasonal aspects like Christmas and Valentine's, things like that. In the end, we closed it down because it was really only seasonal. Since the pandemic, my wife has been really working on donuts. She's also a chef, so she likes to play around in the kitchen. She's come up with some fantastic donuts, and we've given Puffed a rebirth, if you wish. So instead of Puffed Marshmallows, it's now Puffed Donuts. And through this pandemic, it's been gaining, great reputation, great success. It's keeping her busy as well, so that gives me a little break. It's working out well.
Okay, nothing to say. Nothing to say here.
Well, you know. She also does something else. She's in skincare, so she has a natural skincare range under the name of Blue Matopery. And also that's mostly online. So she's really got the online stuff covered, and is working towards being stable throughout this period.
Yeah, good. Okay, let's talk about this. I think this is important to be talked about. The pickup and deliveries. What are this? I mean, what are we seeing on screen?
This is obviously how we respond to the pandemic. So now you can order through various online websites, the classics in the Philippines. We're either on there now or very soon to be on there. Or you can just call up and we'll prepare your order, and you can pull up in the car and we'll just drop it straight off to you.
Okay, what about this one?
Which one?
This one. This one.
This is Cargofish. Yeah, this is a flat lay of some of our various dishes there. This is how the food is served when you dine in the restaurant.
Wow. So you're not going to get this kind of experience now that we are still in the general community quarantine. So
we have a similar experience for delivery. Our packaging is very well thought out for how this works. It's very stable, same size box as you see there, very robust. So the idea is the food should reach you in a good condition. We have to bear in mind that you know, a lot of these things are traveling on motorbike. These riders go like crazy through Manila, so it has to be stable.
Yeah. Did they ever think of selling the raw? I mean, not necessarily the raw, but the not yet cooked food.
It's something we've just started to do. Moreover, with burnt bamboo, the Filipino street food, we do our barbecue sticks, and we pre-marinate them, we freeze them, and people can order these things like party packs and things like that, and simply cook them at home. They're very easy to cook. You can cook in a range of different ways. The cooking instructions are clearly laid out. So that's also another aspect of how we're trying to diversify during the pandemic.
Yeah. Do we get discounts because we are the ones to cook anyway?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, and the last picture is your number. Is it the number?
That's correct.
Okay. So 0975-574-0762 if you want to order.
Yeah, that's right. You can order through that number from either brand, Burnt Bamboo or Cargofish.
Okay, wow, good, interesting. So, the Facebook page of the puffed marshmallows is facebook.com/puffed marshmallows. Maybe I should put it on the screen so they can see it right away, and they don't get lost. Okay, so this is the Facebook page of puffed marshmallows. But now you are more into donuts.
We're doing donuts now. Yeah, she picked up the old brand of puff because it was relevant when she was coming up for a name. You know, it used to be marshmallows, but the donuts themselves are sort of pockets of air then filled. So she's moving it over to that. Also, it made sense because puffed marshmallows had a following. So to move it to puffed donuts, a lot of people who are familiar with the old marshmallows have ordered the new donuts.
Okay, perfect. By the way, the commercial for SMDC, if you want to get in touch with SMDC, we are going to post the number on our comment stream, so you can check it out. You should contact Kate Garcia if you want to get accreditation as an agent to sell SMDC properties. Okay, the last question that I ask audience, my guest, sorry, not the audience, in the big picture is exactly what the big picture is. I mean, despite the things that are happening around today, the chaos, the confusion, disorientation, sometimes hopelessness, what's the big picture?
The big picture, I would say, really, we've got to understand that the world's in trouble. We've got to adapt. We've got to work closer as a race, really, and really work through this. Diversify where you can, move things online if you can, and have faith that this will be over. It's just a period, and we've got to learn from it.
Okay, good. Thank you so much for coming over to the show, Matthew. Really appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
You made our night really inspirational. Sorry, but we got inspired from your by simply sharing your experience with us. We get inspired.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Absolute pleasure.
Okay, good. I'll see you again. All right, after this pandemic. We should be able
Thanks
to dine.
So much, everyone, and come and see us at Cargofish.
Sorry, one last thing. Where are your restaurants located, by the way, so that when the things come back to normal, we can dine in?
Currently, the open restaurants are located in Uptown Mall, BGC, the 4th floor, just outside the food hall near Max's. I also have another one which is in Pasig in City Golf. Right, it's not currently open, so I'll update you when we reopen that one. Okay. Our current operating hours as well is 10 a.m. until 7 p.m. These are adjusted during the pandemic. Yeah, please
Yeah.
come and see us.
And then if you want to order, since some of them are still closed, you send a message to 63975-574-0762. Okay.
That's correct.
Thank you so much, Matthew, again for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. Take care. Keep safe.
You too. All right. O, di ba? Pwede na mag pwede na mag-Tagalog. Yay! The big picture is presented to you by Puzzlebox BPO Inc. Also sponsored by Unisol, Luluran, Telepreneur, SMDC, Creative Voices, Step Back, PAPS. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm going to see you again tomorrow night. This is Lloyd Luna, and you are just in for a treat tonight on The Big Picture. Dito lamang po sa The New Channel. Stay safe, everyone. Magandang gabi ulit.